Very welcome back to Ireland AM. Now, when it comes to our health, we do trust doctors to know best, but what happens when even the best doctors are just not enough?
Well, from misdiagnosis to outdated systems, a new book called Dr. Bot explores how artificial intelligence could actually help save lives. And its author, Charlotte Blease, joins us now. Good morning to you, Charlotte. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you opened the book by pointing out that even the best doctors can fail us. We don't want to hear that, but they're only human after all.
That's the reason I wrote the book, because I thought that there needed to be a much more candid conversation about human limitations in medicine. And of all the experts and, if you like, white-collar workers, I think medical doctors have the greatest demands placed on their shoulders, whether it's keeping up to date with information, multitasking. They have colossal demands and we expect them to be gods, but they're not. They're just human beings trying to do a very difficult job under very strained and increasingly stressful conditions.
I suppose we do put a lot of, expectations on their shoulders, but with the amount of information that's coming to light every day, as you said, they're only human, and AI is a body, you can have huge bodies of work that can inform these diagnoses and these decisions. How realistically can AI help without the whole scaremongering that AI has for everybody as well now? How can it realistically help day-to-day diagnoses for doctors?
Yeah, it's a great question. So getting to the issue of keeping up to date, I made a calculation a couple of years ago that every 39 seconds a new biomedical article is published. And if doctors were to read even 2% of those articles, it would take them more than 22 hours per day. And that's before they've even tried to commit what they've read to memory. So it's really, really difficult and can't be underestimated how challenging it is to keep up to date. And, you know, lots of studies show that doctors practice evidence-based medicine only around half the time. So it is, I kind of flip that and say it's amazing they do it around half the time. But with AI, it's sort of like a speed freak bookworm. It can keep up to date in ways that doctors can't. Now, it has its own kinds of challenges. We know AI can replicate and make mistakes, so-called hallucinations, that seem very compelling.
So that's an hallucinations?
Issue. Hallucinations is the idea, it's just a label given to the fact that AI can offer advice that looks correct but is wrong, is incorrect, inaccurate.
So a body of symptoms that might be quite similar to something else and misdiagnosed, basically.
It could offer, it can make mistakes. So I guess the challenge here, and as you say, people get very nervous when we talk about AI, or on the other hand, sometimes they get far too optimistic. And I think we need to have this conversation in that kind of the grey ambiguity of all these concerns, because AI is going to be very good for some things and it's going to invite a lot more problems in other regards as well.
And I suppose what we all see is then if you have a loss, and I know your partner had died and your dad had died, and that empathy that a doctor can bring you, how did you feel then, or was there empathy there? Because sometimes that's missed as well with doctors.
It's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I witnessed really compassionate care. But yes, there are occasions when health professionals, it's very hard to be consistently empathetic and compassionate round the clock, especially when you're burnt out. So there were occasions when maybe things were said inappropriately, and I think a lot of your viewers would recognise that too, and doctors recognise that as well. So I guess the question is, can AI offer the human touch, or what can it do in relation to that? And look, it can be useful when it comes to writing and communicating.
But not in that spoken word where you're sitting with somebody and you're passing that news on to them.
Well, it depends how you get the news. So, for example, in some countries, you can actually see your test results online and you can see your medical records online. And in that forum, it could be useful actually to convey things. And I've done studies that actually it's quite useful because it can get the language quite good. It can do it quite well. And with doctors overseeing that can actually enhance empathy. But yes, the issue is, can doctors do it all? And I think, no, they can't.
So if we don't expect that AI to be empathetic, so you know, there won't be that jolt of you're not being kind enough to me, you're not caring enough to me, when this sometimes catastrophic diagnosis really. So there is that as well. There's lower expectation of feelings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it's come back to the idea that the more that we can take off our doctor's shoulders, the more time that they can give to us and offer empathy.
Charlotte, if the HSC called you today and they said, OK, Charlotte, we've seen your book, where do we start with AI in healthcare? What would your first thing be? What would the first thing that you go, this is sort of like the main thing that you should be looking at?
I think I would begin with training and education. I did a study a few years ago, a couple of years ago now, but we looked at final year medical students in Ireland, and 2/3 of them said that they had done zero education on AI throughout their degree programme, and a further, it was about 8 and 10, said that they had done like 1 hour, which meant they probably listened to somebody come in and speak to them for an hour or something. So education is massive, and that's where I would start. It's tooling people up to have proper guidance and learn how to learn about these tools as well, not be afraid. I've done a lot of surveys all over the world when it comes to doctors' and patients' opinions about technology, and one of the things people really want is just more guidance.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, can I use these tools or not, and what are they good for? So that's where I would begin. And I also think patients need guidance, which is why it's nice to have opportunities like this, because people are using these tools, but they do need to keep their wits about them, and they need to know what they're good for and where they might be less useful.
Because if you are diving into the great unknown when it comes to diagnosing yourself or looking up symptoms, it can be absolutely terrifying. So you need to know the right places to look and the right tools as well to use.
100%,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Doctors are using these tools too, so tools like ChatGPT. I've done some survey research, and they're using them in quite significant numbers. And there again, you know, it comes to the issue, if patients are using these tools and doctors are, everybody needs to sort of come together and be honest about that, but also have that proper guidance. So that's the thing I think we need more of.
Now, you're launching the book in Hodges Figures on the 11th of November, and you have a very special guest launching it for you.
Yes, the Taoiseach is going to be launching it.
Very
Former
nice.
Minister for Health as well, we do have to point out,
Yeah.
so that's significant.
Yeah, so I'm absolutely honoured by that. And look, I think it shows leadership as well, because we need to be having these conversations about what kind of health system we want. And they need to sort of be public, and there need to be more civic debate. So it's good to see leadership on this as well.
Well, do you know, we'd love to hear from you at home this morning. Do you think doctors should be looking at AI to make diagnoses to help them along the way? It's a very interesting topic, and why doctors can fail us and how AI could save lives. That's one of the main things on this book, Dr. Bot. And Charlotte Blease, thank you so much for coming in to chat to us this morning. Do get in touch with us on your opinion on this, 089 611 111. Lots more still to come on Ireland AM. We're going to take a very quick break.